got to put on the push. If we get out to vote, we win. There's a great effort going, and we can be positive. We can think about and talk about the possibilities of where we can go with this country. But we can't do it if we just allow ourselves to succumb to all of this anger and fear that's being stirred up. We have never, ever, ever in this state been a people that focus on fear and anger. We've always been hopeful, and we know what it takes to turn things around.
My granddaughter wants it.
Oh, good.
Senator,
Yes, sir.
I don't have a question, but I have something to say that's important to people right here in Magnolia, Arkansas. A lot of people, when they hear the name of the committee that Senator Lincoln chairs in the Senate, they just stop at agriculture. There's another word, well actually two in South Arkansas, the word forestry and the word nutrition, that makes it, and I key in on that word nutrition because Senator Lincoln makes a difference with the hungry children and the hungry seniors and the people of Magnolia, Arkansas that don't have enough food as she chairs that nutrition committee. A number of bills to make sure that our hungry kids don't go hungry. The program that Valerie and I manage at First Methodist Church gets money every year from the FEMA Emergency Feeding Program and other programs. And I worry sometimes that just because Senator Lincoln cares about poor people, she's called liberal. And that's ridiculous. But the things that she does in the Senate make a difference to people right here on the streets in Magnolia, Arkansas. Every single day, kids don't have to go to school hungry. She's got a program going now that will make a bigger difference in that, and it's important right here on the streets in our neighborhoods in Magnolia every day that we have her there taking care of.
And thank you for bringing that up, because you're right. Just because I'm a farmer's daughter and just because the first name on that committee is agriculture, please remember, agriculture is only about 13, maybe 14% of the overall farm bill. The majority of what we do in that farm bill is without a doubt nutrition. I was able to write and pass by unanimous consent through the Senate, and folks, nothing happens by unanimous consent anymore in the Senate, the largest increase in the history of the school and children's nutrition program. We had not increased the federal reimbursement for child nutrition in our schools since 1973. Where were y'all in 1973? Where were your kids in 1973? That's absurd. We were also able to not only increase the funding for the school lunch program, school nutrition, we tied it to standards so that we're also not only focusing on childhood hunger, but also childhood obesity, which is costing our country about $147 billion a year in healthcare costs. So nutrition is a huge part. Our senior feeding programs also come through there, and we've worked diligently on those senior feeding programs, expanding Meals on Wheels and other programs that really reach out to seniors in need. Our feeding programs in our senior centers, in our community centers. So nutrition is a huge part of what we do. Forestry is a huge part, and particularly here in South Arkansas. So forestry is one of our top 2 or 3 industries. I got an extra $4 million in the spring and another $4 million just last week in the timber sale program, which has helped us put about 700 foresters back to work in the state of Arkansas. These are great programs. They not only put people to work, they also help us sustain healthy forests. It's a great partnership between business and industries and our U.S. Forest Service to keep good, healthy forests. So those are great things. Rural development is another huge thing. I've gotten $3.2 billion into the state of Arkansas through rural development. Things like water projects, where we've for 25 years we have been trying to fund the Ozark Water Project up in north central Arkansas. It covers 23,000 Arkansans in 6 counties. We've now gotten that money in there, and we've got that project going. Just did one down in Genoa, outside of Texarkana. Project down there we've been working on for years. $5.5 million to get safe drinking water into those communities. Rural development helps hospitals. We just did Ashdown, a rural development grant loan partnership with the community to put a nursing home rehabilitation facility in Ashdown. Hospitals, to get equipment that our rural hospitals need where they don't have anywhere else to go for those dollars. Those rural development dollars help us equalize ourselves as a state that's predominantly rural areas so so that we can be competitive and get the resources in that we need, that other big cities and larger states can access those dollars. We don't have that ability because of our tax base is low. We don't have full-time grant writers in some of these communities, or we just can't be competitive. So you're right, ag is a lot more than just row crops, poultry, and livestock, so, but thank you. What else? Bruce, what I need to know about going on around here?
Well,
Yes,
I make a comment.
Huh?
Personally, I haven't agreed with everything you did, but most things I did. One case in point, the healthcare bill. There are some good points about it, and there are some bad points. But there's more good than bad.
Yes, sir.
In the end, you took a political risk by voting for it, but you did the right thing, and we want to commend you on that.
I appreciate that. Well, you know, if I just took votes based on my reelection, there's a lot of things we wouldn't get done. And I don't do that. I take a vote based on what I think is good and right, and that's gonna move us forward. And you're exactly right. There's a lot that people don't understand about health care. I would say to you that I have never had the opportunity to vote for a perfect bill, and that one was not a perfect bill either. But let me tell you folks, we have spent 3 decades trying to figure out how we are gonna get a bigger bang for our health care delivery dollar. And we are now, with the 26 industrialized nations that we compete with for jobs across the global economy, we spend twice as much as the other 26, and we get less people covered. We've got to figure out a way, and this is a start. And there's good stuff in there for small businesses. We preserve Medicare. We do not add any debt. We actually decrease the debt in the first 10 years by $132 billion, and in the second 10 years by $1 trillion, because we make the programs more efficient and effective. We eliminate some of the fraud and abuse and some of the overpayments that exist out there. But there are good things in the program, and we can continue to make it better. You know, I think if nothing else, you can say to your Republican friends or your Democratic friends, you know, we need to look for the facts here, folks. Let's don't just depend on what they run on television or what people say out there. You know, prove it to them. And I've called several people's hands on that when, you know, I've had people come up to me or ask questions in a group and say something about, well, I mean, for instance, in the debate, Congressman Bozeman says, well, we should be selling, be able to allow folks to purchase health insurance across state lines. The health insurance bill does that. It does that. It opens up the ability for states to build compacts so that if Arkansas and Texas and Mississippi and Louisiana and Missouri and Oklahoma wanted to build a compact and sell insurance products across their state lines, they can do it. You know, national insurance companies will be able to sell in these pools for all of us. So, you know, if you've got an Aetna that's selling a plan in all 50 states, they're selling across state lines the same product. So you're right, it's hard, and there's a lot to know, and you know, I'm fortunate because I helped to write some of it, so I know a lot of it in my own head.
Senator, I've gotten some of those emails too, and I try to tell folks, you know, if you want to be mad, okay, but make sure.